welcome to my channel. My name is Olivia Wiles. If you've never been here before, I like to make videos relating to alopecia, which is an autoimmune disorder that causes me not to grow hair. But also I like to just make videos about being different. Also currently I'm living in Barcelona for this semester, so I'm going to be making a few videos about that and just traveling. But today I wanted to bring to you a specifically hair loss related video about my experience wearing wigs. So I wanted to preface this video to let everyone know I don't wear wigs and I don't feel like it's the right choice for me, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with wearing wigs. It's totally okay. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that at all, but I'm just kind of here to tell you a bit today about my experience with wigs and why I personally don't wear them. So as a little bit of background, I have had alopecia for about 4 years now. I developed alopecia in December of 2015. I decided pretty early on that I didn't want to wear wigs, but I did kind of try and mess around with them, I guess, for the first couple of months, I would say. So my first experience with getting a wig was a very not good one. It was kind of scarring, honestly. I actually hadn't even finished losing all of my hair yet, which, for a little bit of context, I lost like probably 60 to 70% of my hair over the course of like 9 days, like a week and a half. And then I decided to shave it like 2 or 3 weeks after the initial bald spots were found, just because it was falling out so quickly and I didn't want to watch it fall out anymore. It was very soon because I had like figured out I had alopecia on day 1, and then on day, like, let's say 13, I was at a wig store. And it was crazy. I did not feel ready to be at the wig store in the least, but it was just something that my family wanted me to do, and I understand why they wanted me to do it, but I definitely wasn't ready. It was horrible timing. I just wanted my own hair. I didn't want to think about putting someone else's hair on my back. It was just, on my head. It was just this very surreal timing that I definitely wasn't ready. But regardless, we went to this wig place that one of my family members had found. We rolled up and it was definitely not where I would have picked to go for my first experience wig shopping. It was this like really weird store that sold like multiple different things. It wasn't just a wig store. In fact, the wig portion was like in the very back. It was so weird. It was one of those places where you're like, who is keeping this store running? Because I don't know who's gonna buy this stuff. But it was just very confusing because I was like, where in here am I supposed to get fake hair? So we were kind of like walking all the way back. The lights were kind of dim. It was really weird. And we finally found this like hair salon in the very back. It was just kind of terrifying, to be honest with you, because there were heads all over the walls with various styles of wigs and like hair on them. I distinctly remember the feeling of walking into that room being like, this is hell, this is my worst nightmare. That might sound a little bit dramatic, but anybody who's been there knows exactly what I'm talking about. And they like sat me down in this chair, like I didn't even know where I was going. It's just one of those things where they were like leading me over to the chair and sat me down, and before I knew it they were like asking permission to put a wig on my head, and I was like, no, but yes, I guess that's why we're here. But I just remember them putting it on my head, and as soon as like I felt it touch my head, I just started crying. It was really just a sad moment, I guess. I can't say enough. I wasn't ready for it. So if you feel like you're not ready to go try on a wig, don't. There is definitely a point where you can feel like you are ready or where you're not ready. Yeah, so not a great experience. We left. I was so happy to be gone. And then my second experience was so much better. It was, in terms of like going to get a wig, was a dream. I went to this organization called Wigs for Kids. So if you've never heard of them before, they're this great organization here in the United States, and they'll actually provide you with a free wig if you're a minor. And it's a human hair wig, which is just out of this world that they can provide that for you, because human hair wigs are not cheap. Are not cheap. I had gotten over the initial blow a little bit. Of course, everything was still hard. It was still so new, but it was like that initial blow of the first 9 days had, you know, ceased a little bit. So I felt more prepared to go than I did the first time. I have only good things to say about this organization. We went and it was like just a great environment right when you walk in. You felt like you were at a professional hair salon, and then they bring you back to your own rooms. And this was kind of more like a consult. So we talked about my story, asking me to show them pictures of my old hair, and we talked about what I was looking for in a wig, what kinds of activities I'm going to be doing with this wig. We just were very thorough in what we were talking about and made me feel very comforted through the whole process. We took measurements of my head because they actually make them to be like specific for your head. You just felt like you were really getting a personalized experience there, and felt like they really cared about you and making sure that you had the solution that was right for you. It was just great. I left there feeling fantastic. Maybe I could see myself wearing a wig. I think that I went into it so negative and so turned off just because of the first experience I'd had. And I guess that I was a little bit more open to the idea after that initial consult. And then we went back. It was probably a couple months. So we got there and I was feeling pretty good. Still not sure if I'd be wearing it a lot, but super excited to see it and to have the option. And I just remember sitting in that like salon chair, but in the private room. And they walked in and they were like so happy to see me and very comforting. And they put the wig on me. And I remember just like looking in the mirror and just feeling like relieved. Feeling really happy about what was on my head and like loving the hair that they created for me personally. Even though I don't wear it today, I'm still so grateful to whoever donated their hair to make that happen, because it did do a lot for me. I was really happy. I felt like the me that I had been a few months ago before any of this had started happening. So leading off of that experience, went home with the wig. They showed me how to wash it, given me all the care instructions, all that jazz. I went home and I remember being super excited to show people. I like wore it over to my really good friend's house and showed her, and I went over to my grandparents' house and I showed them. I just remember feeling so happy, like, wow, I can't believe that just like that they made me feel like my old self again. I remember putting the windows down in the car and the wind throwing my hair back and me feeling like so relieved, because that feeling of like the wind going through my hair was so familiar and I just hadn't felt it in so long. And it was like I felt overwhelmed with joy just at feeling air go through my hair. Little things, right? And I wore it sporadically throughout maybe like the next couple of weeks. I mostly wore it inside the house just to see if it was something I would get used to, if I liked it. Then I started wearing it out a few times, and I think that over time it just started not really sitting right with me. It felt a little bit strange after doing it like several times. Maybe it was the initial excitement was starting to wear off, and it might not wear off for everybody, but that's kind of what happened to me. I started feeling like this doesn't really feel right, and I'm not sure why. For me, it felt a little bit like I was lying to myself. I want to just say over and over again that what I'm about to say doesn't mean that you're lying to yourself. It just means these are the feelings that I was going through, and it's a personal choice you have to make for yourself whether or not you're gonna wear a wig. So I remember feeling like I was just lying to myself, like I was trying to hide the fact that I hadn't gone through what I did. Those first couple months were so profound and I'd gone through so much, and I felt like throwing a wig on just was like saying, ha, she never even experienced that. So that's kind of how that felt for me. It felt like I was hiding myself, and I remember feeling like even though I wasn't used to being bald yet, I also had this like kind of ingrained belief that I'm bald and I'm supposed to be. And I'm not happy about it, but it's just the way things are, and I want to deal with it. I just didn't feel myself anymore. And I also didn't feel myself bald, so it was just this weird crossover. Was I supposed to feel more like myself bald or more like myself with this wig on, because I just couldn't figure it out. But I started, walking away from the wig just because whenever I put it on, I felt like I was hiding from who I should be trying to adapt to be. I wanted to embrace it, to explore if I could be okay bald, if I could still feel like myself while accepting this change that was going on. And I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, but I just didn't feel like putting the wig on was the right way to accept myself again. And everybody goes through their own journey of figuring out how they feel most like themselves, how they feel most confident, how they're going to come to accept the things that they're going through. and for me, wearing a wig just wasn't it. But it can totally be it for you. At this point, I feel completely like myself. I hardly even remember what it's like to have hair. But that's not to say that I don't miss it from time to time. I think that a lot of the times I miss the feelings of normalcy. I miss things like not worrying if people will look at me different because I look sick, or I miss not worrying about if guys would like me because I'm bald. Because these are all things that I still worry about all the time. But for me, it's like putting a wig on just doesn't fix those worries. But a wig might be that solution for you. It's just not for me. So that's kind of what my journey's been like. I absolutely love being bald at this point, and I think that wigs are fun, and I think that if you feel most like yourself with a wig on, then you should totally do it. But at this point in my life, it may change when I get older, it may change next week, but at this point in my life, I feel so much more like myself bald than I do with a wig on. That's all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I just hope that if you're going through hair loss right now, you'll feel comforted through the journey. I hope that you'll have an amazing experience like I did with Wigs for Kids, one where you feel comforted through the whole process of getting a wig or a hairpiece or whatever that may be. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you have any questions, feel free to direct message me on either of my Instagram accounts, which I'll link below, or to leave any comments below. Thanks guys, see ya.